Hello and welcome to Math Lessons with Linda. Today's topic is verifying trig identities. This typically can be an intimidating topic because every single problem is different, but there are some strategies that you can use that will make it easier to figure out the path that you should take no matter what your identity is you're verifying. So what it means to verify an identity is that you're going to choose either the left side of your equation or the right side and only work with that side to make it look like the other. Typically, the side that has more stuff on it is the side that you want to work with. It'll be easier for me to turn this larger side of my equation into something smaller instead of starting with something very small and trying to make it look like this. One of the best strategies to use is, first of all, can I make all of the terms that I want to work with, either in terms of sine or cosine? We have more options when we turn things into sine and cosine. So that's what I always try to do first. So I think we should begin working with this left side of the equation. It has more to it, and we'll see if we can turn it into just a secant of x. I'm noticing I have a tangent right here, and I can turn the tangent into sine and cosine. So I'm going to leave all my other terms and factors the same. And I'm going to turn the tangent into sine of x over cosine of x. That's the equivalent value. Now, I'm going to put my equals, but I'm not going to put anything here because this secant's just going to stay the same the whole way down, and hopefully I'll get to where my left side is also exactly just a secant. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm looking, okay, now I've got this fraction. So I'm going to turn every term I have into a fraction, because the only way to add ultimately two things together that are fractions is if I have a common denominator. That's my next step that I'm going to do. I'm going to make this term and this term both have the same denominator. So I can go ahead and multiply. This is multiply, not add. So I can go ahead and multiply a sine of x times a sine of x is a sine squared of x. And then 1 times cosine is just cosine of x. So it looks like I need the denominator for both of these to be cosine x. Now, the way that I do that is if I multiply 1 by the cosine of x, I have to multiply my numerator also by the cosine of x. And that gives me cosine squared of x. Okay, so this is looking better. I have a common denominator. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge these two by adding them together. So I get cosine squared x plus sine squared x. Now it's all just over the cosine of x. Okay, I am very interested in this numerator. This numerator, cosine squared x plus sine squared x, this is one of my Pythagorean identities. And the equivalent value to this is 1. So I'm going to substitute in 1 for all of this and keep my denominator. So I've gone from a very complicated looking problem to something that is very straightforward. And I have 1 over the cosine of x. And another identity that I have used before are the reciprocals. And I just need to figure out what's the reciprocal trig function for 1 over cosine x. And it turns out that is the secant of x. And if you remember, that is where we started up here. We were working towards this. I get both sides to be the same. I have verified my identity and gotten them to be the same value.